Hey everyone, it is Jonah, and I'm back with another video, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about my comeback episode reaction to American Idol, and just how I feel about it in general, and then who I think stood out for me in this episode, and who I think is going to be going through to the next round, and who I think are people who could make it through, and people who I don't think are going to make it through. But yeah, before we get to this video, if you guys like American Idol and like my videos, please feel free to subscribe down below for more content. I would greatly appreciate it. And without further ado, let's jump right into this video. So, I know that some people are very, kind of on the edge about this whole comeback thing. They don't like how they think it's unfair to the contestants this season that someone from the last season gets to just come back and join the show and maybe could even win the show. But honestly, I like it. And I think that for two reasons. I think that because of COVID, they did not get the chance to get the full experience of Idol. And it's not their fault. Like, it's just COVID hits. For them, it's kind of an unfair thing. I mean, life happens, and I get it. But I like what production wanted to do here. They wanted to bring them back, and I think that I feel like the results may have been slightly different if COVID didn't happen and they were able to do live shows. But I think the top two would have remained the same. But I think it would have been different for maybe who just made the top 10, because there was people like Olivia, people like Sanaya and Michaela who thrive on stage and who rather be on stage and didn't get that experience. And I feel like people like that would have made it farther on the show if they had a full stage to work with, other than singing from their home with little space to work with and not being able to utilize a big stage and connect with an audience live. So I think I like the fact that they invited people like that back. And I think that it also just gives them another chance. I mean, even if it's not like, I feel like they didn't get a chance to showcase all they can do, like I was saying, and then they didn't get their maybe voices out as much as they could have if it was a live performance. And I like how a lot of these contestants, I'll get into this a little bit later, but a lot of these contestants that came back, they may have wanted to move on, but really a lot of these came back so they can showcase their voice one more time and get their voices and get their artistry just out there for America to see, so they can get signed to a record deal, get their originals more listens, or whatever it is, just get a bigger fan base. And I feel like that's what happened to a lot of people. A lot of people weren't necessarily going for the win. They were just trying to sing just to get their voices out more, just to get more fans and have more people listen to their stuff. So, yeah. So now let's get into the performances. So coming in at 10, we have Nick Mariko. I personally have never been a fan of Nick. I think that his voice is just too poppy, and it was always too pitchy for me. Now, this performance wasn't necessarily pitchy. I agree with Luke. What Luke was saying after the performance, how vocally it just wasn't up to. I think he's just not going to be up to par with the rest of the contestants in the comeback as well as on this season. Honestly, he is somebody that I don't think would have made it to the top 24 if he was on this season of Idol, just because I don't think he has that unique of a voice. I don't think he should have made it to the top 24 in general on the previous season. Now, I do like that he sang an original song, like he took a risk, and I think that it was a great original song, and it shows what he wants to be as an artist. I just personally didn't like it enough to where I think he's even a small chance to make it through. I don't think he has a chance at all. But I do think that it's good of him to get his music out there, and I think he'll get more listens to his song, and he'll get a bigger fan base for that. So, yeah. Coming in at 9, we have Sanaya Elise. And Sanaya has a really big voice. She did everything well. I just felt like she was just kind of forgettable. She went first, which is kind of a tough spot to be at. Usually the person who goes first or second on the show, at least one of those two, won't make it through to the next round. On shows like this, is because people forget about them, and Sanaya and Nick are obviously the first two to go, and I think that they are going to have the worst chances because I think they're going to have people are going to forget about them when they vote. And in my opinion, I didn't think either of them had a very memorable performance. Sanaya didn't necessarily do anything wrong. I just didn't feel enough of. I'm not sure what was missing. I just didn't feel it from her, and she has a great voice and she's a great performer. I just didn't feel it today, and I don't know, but yeah. So coming in at 8, we have Faith Becknell. She's another person who I wasn't really a fan of last season. I thought that she was kind of just fake in a way, but I think that what she did here it showed that she is an artist and that she does have a big voice and she can do this. I just didn't think that it's up to par with some of the other people above her on this list, as well as people on this season, and that's why I think that she will not make it through. I think that she's a good vocalist. I just, like I said, I just can't think it's average compared to the rest of the people in this episode as well as on the show currently. So yeah. Coming in at 7, he was one of my favorites last season. It'll be a Franklin Boone. He talked about how last season, right around the time of these live shows and COVID hit, his apartment had black mold, so that he had to move in with a friend or maybe his brother, so I'm not sure who he moved in with. So it was very chaotic for him, and he had a very hard time making Idol work. And he wasn't as prepared as he could have been for the Idol at Home last season, and that's why he ended up going home too soon, in my opinion. So he wanted to come back and give it another try. I loved what he did. I think he was a very left field pick. I expect him to do more singer-songwriter stuff, and he picked like a rock song, but I think he killed it. He was honestly one of my favorites of the night. I just think that based off of YouTube views and the fact that he may not resonate with a lot of people, that's why I don't think he'll make it through. But he's one of my personal favorites, but I'm making these rankings off of how I feel voting is going to happen, and I don't think he'll make the top 5 in voting, sadly. But I wish he did. I think he's an amazing vocalist, and he's going to be someone who I probably listen to after the show and in the future because I love his voice. So, yeah. Coming in at 6, we have Dwayne Crocker Jr. He surprised me here. I was at the beginning before his performance, he was talking to Bobby, and he was saying that he regrets singing I Feel Good. But honestly, I remember watching I Feel Good, and he had that crazy run at the end of that song, and I literally fell out of my seat. Like, it was just absolutely crazy. And that was one of the probably best runs I've ever heard in my life. It sounded so smooth, and he nailed it. But I kind of agree with him. I think that he doesn't have the type of voice to do the full song justice. And I think that if he had picked songs like this song that he did tonight, he would have gone farther in the show. I just feel like some of these contestants above him are just on another level. I think that his voice is amazing. I like that he worked the stage a little bit. I just think that he kind of got lost in the mix a little bit here. And I think that he doesn't have... I think he may be close to the top 5 in voting. I just don't think he'll get it for me this time. So now we have Alana Jester, and I don't even recognize her. Like, from her last season to her pre-taping to her actual performance, it got crazier and crazier difference for me. And I didn't even recognize her. Like I was like, is that Alana? Like I didn't even recognize her at all. And she had a very amazing vocal. I thought it was very good most of the time. She had a couple pitch issues, but I think overall it was a solid performance. I just don't know if it was enough to move her forward into the show. But I thought she had a great performance. And I'm definitely thinking that she'll have a chance at making this, I getting the 1 spot. I just don't think she'll get it though. Coming in at 4, probably the second surprise of the night for me was this one. And this is Olivia Ximines, and she's amazing. This is like I was saying at the beginning, this is somebody who really could have utilized the stage, and I think she would have been in the top 10 if COVID never happened and they were able to sing live last season. Just because I think she's a dancer and a singer, and that's part of what she brings to the table is her ability to move the stage and entertain the audience and be an entertainer. And she has an amazing voice to back it up with. I thought she had a very amazing performance. It was very solid. I just feel like the people above her had more emotional performances or just have a larger fan base than her, and that's why I think that she won't get that 1 spot, but I would love for her to get it. I think that she would deserve it if she got it. I just don't think it's going to happen. So, yeah. Coming in at 3, we have Makayla Phillips. Makayla is really emotional this time around. She sang Anyone by Demi Lovato. Very big song choice, very hard song choice, very risky. She killed it. I think there was times where she lost pitch a little bit, but overall it was a fantastic performance. She got very emotional. When I first read it, I thought her emotions were kind of fake, but like I watched the actual show like last night, and I realized that this song meant a lot to her for her sister. Her sister lost her father, and she was singing this for her sister and was emotional for her. And it kind of looked fake to me, but I guess it wasn't fake. She really was being emotional, and I really enjoyed that it was real and it wasn't fake. I think it added another layer to the performance. I just don't know. She comes in at 3 because I think she has a decent chance to move on, but honestly, this is Arthur's to lose, and I just don't. It's tough. It's so tough. I think what she has going for her is that she was put 3rd to last. So she was put closer to the end of these performances. So people may remember her when they vote this week. So yeah, that is what she has going for her. Coming in at 2. So if there's one person that's going to beat Arthur for this spot, this is going to be the person right here. And I firmly believe this, that it's going to come down to Arthur and this person. And this is going to be Louis Knight. So, for 2 reasons, or three reasons. First of all, Louis staying last. He had the pimp spot. He had the best spot you could possibly get. So production wants him to move forward. Production and the judges probably want him to move forward. They were giving him a lot of praise afterwards. Secondly, he sang an original song. He took a risk and it paid off. He set himself apart from the rest of the contestants, and he surprised me. I had heard this song before. I'm a follower of Louis. I have his song changed to sing in his blind audition, or not his blind audition, his audition last season. And I have this song, so I had already heard it. I hadn't heard him sing it live before. He killed it. I love the runs he added into the middle, and he wasn't doing a lot of runs last season, or at least not well. And he killed them this time. It was a huge step up from last season. I think he did a terrific job, and I think that is his bread and butter, singing emotional songs that mean a lot to him. And if he keeps doing that, I think he will go decently far on this show if he gets through to this next round. But I think, like I was saying before, because he got the last spot, because he sang the original song, because he was so emotional, I think, and because he did so well with it, I think for all those reasons, he is the person that could dethrone Arthur here. But like I said, Arthur is my number 1 spot for a couple reasons. I just think that coming in, he was the runner-up. So he has a large fan base, so he's already kind of ahead of the contestants in that regard. And then secondly, he is just on another level. Like, he vocally, just artistry-wise, there's something about him that's just special to me, and I really want to see the best for him. But I just think that it's definitely going to come down to between Arthur and Louis for me. Louis made it to the finale also. So that says a lot about him and his fan base, too. So I'm just saying that, like, really, I think them two are going to get the most votes, and I don't think it's going to be very close. And I think, to me, I think Louis will come just a bit. I think Louis will come up a bit short here. I do think that Arthur will move on, but I also wouldn't be surprised at all if Louis makes it through. I just think that Arthur's fan base is too big, and I think that he's just too good of an artist to not make it through. And I love the fact that he didn't even know what song he was going to be singing, like, probably like a day before when he was talking with Bobby leading up to his performance, and he wasn't even nervous about like picking it last minute. He knew that he knows 2 songs very well, and he knew he could probably kill both of them. He just picked he picked whatever song he wanted to, and he killed it. So it was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, I think it's definitely connected to Arthur and Louis. Michaela has a small shot. Olivia has a small shot. Alana has a small shot, and then anyone below that, little to none. But I think that I love the fact that they did this round overall, and I think everyone got to showcase their voices one last time. And I'm glad that even if they got picked to come back on the show, that's a win. And I think that because there was like I think 20 to 24 people who they could have picked to come back, and they picked these 10 people. So that must mean something, right? And I know that Francisco couldn't come back because he has a record deal. Just the same he won the show. Dylan James, he has a record deal. Johnny West is somebody that I thought. I don't think he necessarily has a record deal. Maybe he just didn't want to come back on the show for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe he does have a record deal. I don't know. But he was somebody that I was wishing they could have gotten on the show, too. I think he would have definitely added some pressure to Arthur for sure. But yeah, I just think this is Arthur's to lose. And currently, I don't think anyone is going to beat Arthur for that spot. But if anyone does, it's going to be Louis. So yeah. Thank you guys for watching this video. I really appreciate it. And I will be back with more videos later. Thank you guys for watching.